For many months, I've avoided what I've been fearing in my nightmares. I've seen nightmare scenarios, I've seen everything, but today's a different day. Today, I confront my fears. Today, I face the paranormal. You see it? Get a good shot at the door. Ring the bell. In we go. It appears that the decorations have changed. It's a birthday party now. Before it was Halloween, but now, birthday. Funny. Well, that's not suspicious at all. Somebody left a random apple. I spit at the face of people who don't like to be cool. Good. What? How? How is this possible? This is my book. This is the book that I was reading at my vacation time. It's your day. Clearly something dark happened. What? This is getting strange. The party can't be for me. They're using my American name against me. But why? How did they know I was coming here? You know, while I'm here, I might as well do my business. Oh, that's good. You hear that? It's like a... Not the tapping. I already discovered that. It's like a gutter thing. Hold on a second. Damn it. Go away, sound. I'm trying to listen. Of course, now the sound does not want to go away, so I can't hear the other sound. Of course. Just my dumb luck. Oh, would you look at this? A flashlight. Perfect. Well, I guess that noise is pointless to investigate now. Wait. There it is. What? Oh no! The fuck is that? Is that a spider nest? Better not see nothing crawl out of there. Looks clean for now. Hopefully, anyway. The sign is not there anymore. It's still locked. Nothing. And my flashlight is flickering. What about this one? What the hell was that? Am I ready to go down here? I really don't want to go down here. I'm gonna sit and think about it for a second before I go down there. Fix the camera a bit. So far, nothing as of yet. But I worry, because a lot of things are out of the ordinary. First off, there was a birthday party here, which I suspected anyway, because the restaurant was a restaurant, but actually it was just to lure in a kid and kill him. But now, everything says it's for me. Sorry. The toothpick is a little bit in the way. I don't know what to do. I don't want to go in that basement, but I know if I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do, if I'm going to get this fucking shit out of my mind, I need to investigate the basement. Why this book? The very book that I read on vacation. Why this one? Why is it here? Why was there an apple here? They knew I liked apples. Why is everything so convenient? Why was there a flashlight conveniently in the bathroom where I was going to do my business? These are the things that keep me up. And these are the things that subsequently I'm going to need answers to. Otherwise, I'm never going to be able to sleep again. Oh, excuse me. Looks like I have no choice but to go down there. But I will be as brave as I can. If these houses' noises are creeping me out. If I don't come back, utilize this footage as proof of the paranormal. And make sure to cement my name and legacy into the history books as the first person with proof of the paranormal. I guess we have no choice now. Let's go. Damn, it's dark. Should I leave this open or closed? I'm gonna leave it closed for now. Make sure it's unlocked. Okay. Light switch. At least that works. Okay, let me go back here for a second. It's jammed. Damn. Okay. This is not a door. Okay. Okay. This is a door. Ooh. It's the laundry chute. It's in the same spot. At least I know that. That's where the thing came down from the sky. At least I thought so anyway. There's the fan. Does it work? It's not blowing anything. Barely any air. Security cameras. Hold on a second. Okay, let's see. Do they work? They work. Oh, a little bit slow. But at least I know that they work. Back there next. Okay. There was not a curtain here before. That's what's concerning me. I know I'm being very quiet. What? No. There's no way. There was never a bed. There was not a bed here before. Okay. Listen, I've been calm for the most part, but I'm starting to get very paranoid. That door. Was there a door here before? I don't remember there being a door. This is new to me. This must have been when the kid was hiding. Oh, shit. Okay. Pray for me. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. It's broken. What's back there? You see back there? Eggs. What is that? Doorknobs. I can't get back there. The door is broken. Damn. Yeah, no dice. It's jammed in. At least I know it's back there now, though. That fan works. But I'm not here for fans. I'm here to find the paranormal. Should I leave this light on? I'll leave the light on. Okay. For now, though. I'll turn it off when I have to go. That's on. Okay. What about this one? Oh, something's blocking it. Hold on, so let me try. It's not working. It's not working. I'm sorry. I can't reach that door either. Damn. I mean, can I pull the handle? No. Fuck. Okay. We're gonna have to figure. What's that? What's this? Game time. Is that an arcade? I think I know the arcade. Hang on. Time played is not awarded with ticket. It is an arcade. Would you look at that? This pizzeria still has tricks up its sleeve. I'll keep these. You never know when you need them. Try my luck here. Okay. Oh, there we go. Spirits! I demand of you to speak to me. If there are any spirits in this basement, please make your presence known. Nothing. Nothing so far. That's gonna give me paranoia. I think we're in the clear. That's fine with me. No spirits. Nothing. Well, at least I could say that I didn't find anything here. So at least I have that. Oh shit. Oh no. Ah! Shit! Oh shit! 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 Open the door! That was single-handedly the scariest experience of my whole life. I will never, hear me out, never go back in that house. I know I said I was going to go back to finish what I started, but I just can't. I'm too paranoid, I'm too scared. And after that, there's no shot. Somebody else can deal with that demon if they want. But for me, I need to find search elsewhere. But the good news is this. I got my ticket straight to the arcade. And with that ticket, I will find and get the Paranormal once and for all. I won't fail you guys. I promise. How you doing? Erick Mavioso here, and today, well not today, but the day that this is supposed to release, because when I'm recording this, it's actually earlier on, but today is the 9th, I believe, anniversary of Five Nights at Freddy's, and it's crazy because the game feels like it just came out yesterday, whilst also feeling like it's been out for decades already. It's been out for like 30 years. But today, we're not going to be talking about the games. Today, we're going to be talking about what's going to happen in 2.5 months from now, which is the Five Nights at Freddy's movie is getting released. And with the Five Nights at Freddy's movie being released in 2.5 months, I thought it would be a perfect time right now to make my predictions. If you read a community post that I made back in May, which is when I'm filming this, you probably saw me talk about some ideas that I think they're going to do, because if I'm not mistaken, and this trilogy of movies is supposed to be a reinterpretation of the games, then I have a very good feeling of what they are going to do with the story. Very good feeling. I'm so confident with it. That's why I'm going to leave my predictions here. First, I'm going to talk about my predictions about this upcoming movie, and then with those predictions, I'm going to book how I would book the trilogy of films as a whole. And going forward, you know, for me, I think the movie trilogy is going to be the thing that I focus on more than the games. For me, I think it's pretty obvious to anybody who's a FNAF fan that the games are... they're too far gone. There's no saving it at this point in time. Like, it's just become so crazy, this universe. I still don't know how we went from a simplistic little ghost story about animatronics to pretty much every kind of horror idea mashed into this one franchise, but that's what we got, and unfortunately, I'm kind of out of it now. I'm kind of done, to where FNAF Security Breach Ruin DLC, that's it. Once that drops, I'm done. I'm tapping out of the games. I'm just gonna be waiting for the remake games. Hi, Future Rex here. So turns out, 2 weeks following the recording of this video, FNAF Help Wanted 2 was announced. It seems that this franchise doesn't want me to go. Fine. I'll stay. For now, bitch. And speaking of that, this was originally supposed to be how I would book the FNAF remake games. But the way that I was going to book the FNAF remake games is pretty much how I'm going to book the FNAF movie trilogy, so I didn't see a point. So starting off, the first thing I want to predict is that Mike Schmidt
is just Mike Schmidt. He has nothing to do with William Afton. I think that it would be a poor story choice to have Mike Schmidt be connected to William Afton. It does not work. And it also just doesn't make sense because you would imply that one of the kids would know or somebody would know about that. There are so many things that would make that plot synopsis worse.
Hi, me again. Today is not my day, is it? So apparently I totally forgot to even explain to you the reason why I don't think Mike Schmidt and Abby Schmidt should be related to William Afton. And the reason's pretty simple. Why would Mike Schmidt go work at the building that his father owns and is still probably currently running? It doesn't really make a lot of sense story-wise. Also, as you'll see me talk about later, I think it would be better to make Mike Schmidt seem like he's related to William Afton to pull off a really clever twist. You'll get it in a second.
I think that the best option for Mike and for Abby is to just keep them completely as separate characters. Abby Schmidt, Mike Schmidt have no relations or correlations with William Afton at all. And if it is any kind of relations, it has something to do with Mike's past. Now, personally, I think it's pretty obvious past that they're going to reinterpret here is going to be the bite of 87. How they're going to do the bite of 87, I'm not entirely sure, but I have a prediction that plays into a twist that I think is guaranteed to happen in this film. So now, you know how I just mentioned William Afton not being related to Abby or Mike? I think William Afton is related to Vanessa. And if you played Security Breach, you'll know that Vanessa in Scott's vision is obviously some kind of replacement or remake of Circus Baby. It's like really obvious that she's just fitting the role of Elizabeth Afton, to where I can see that in this movie trilogy, it would just make perfect sense to have Vanessa just be her own character and be related to Afton and have that extra antagonist. And I know there's already a supposed female unnamed antagonist listed in IMDb right here, but I think that's just going to be like some kind of boss or some kind of mean little bitch or some problematic person in Mike's life that maybe like rent's due type of chick. I don't know. Because trying to implement a completely new villain when you have the perfect villains with William Afton and Vanessa would be difficult. Like, the only option that you would have would be to be Mrs. Afton. And we know nothing about Mrs. Afton, and I'm not sure if this movie's going to cover Mrs. Afton. So the twist that I have a suspicion that they're going to do, other than the fact that Vanessa is related to William Afton, is that they are going to recreate the Elizabeth Afton death scene, but with Vanessa instead of Circus Baby. And how they're going to do that is that Vanessa is going to get close with Mike, and they're going to be personal, they're going to be connecting. It might seem like they might even get into a relationship, and then bait and switch, Mike has Vanessa take care of Abby while he's trying to battle off the animatronics, and then surprise, Vanessa kills Abby cold blood. I think that would be a perfect movie moment to cause a lot of drama, to cause a lot of like emotion, to get you emotional. Like, imagine being so connected to Abby and Mike that later on in this film you have so much trust in Vanessa that when this happens and she kills Abby, not only is that a great emotional moment, but right there with that very scene, you just built yourself a new antagonist. And we all know, come on, we all know William Afton is getting spring locked in this movie. No questions about it. We know that shit's gonna happen. So obviously, until we get to FNAF 3, we're gonna have to have somebody take the role of the main antagonist for Five Nights at Freddy's 2. And who better to take the role as the main antagonist in FNAF 2 than Vanessa? Vanessa just seems like the perfect candidate to be the villain for FNAF 2, the second movie. That I don't think they will throw that option away. Obviously, we're going to see William Afton die, and obviously we're going to see Mike grieve the death of Abby. And what I think is going to happen is that they're going to have the FNAF 3 minigame scene where Mike is going to help William Afton take out the animatronics one by one until, you know, he's got them all, and then the spirits fuck with Afton and Afton gets spring locked. You know, classic FNAF 3 shit with the added Vanessa thing with Abby. That would be a perfect cliffhanger because now you have to go see the sequel, Five Nights at Freddy's 2, and now you have a new villain to focus on while Afton is sitting on the sidelines, spring locked as hell. We interrupt this program to bring you Future Rex with information that he missed the first time round.
How you doing? Future Rex here. If it's not obvious, the FNAF movie trailer dropped at the end of June when I thought it was going to drop today on August 8th. This is not when I'm recording it, but August 8th is when I thought the trailer was going to drop, because, you know, FNAF anniversary. But no, it just dropped randomly at the end of June, and so now I have to add in me in the flesh here in order to back up information in regards to my predictions using the trailer. Which I was not going to watch the trailer, but given the fact that it came out before that I expected, I decided to watch it, and the movie looking good. It's looking good, but you know what? I gotta talk about pointers in regards to my predictions with the trailer. So, first things first, Hank. Hank, I don't know if he's going to be Henry. The trailer doesn't seem to make him seem like he is Henry. In fact, he looks like he's one of these cronies over here. You see this group of people, it might be a family, and you got Hank, you got Carl, you got Maxine, and then you got this one character who's opening the garage. And I have a suspicion that this character right here that we don't get to see who's lifting up the garage is actually the unnamed female villain that is listed, Mary Stewart something. And I suspect exactly what I originally suspected her character to be, you know, like some kind of selfish bitch who might throw these other characters under the bus first chance she gets in order to survive, and then she's gonna die a horrible death. But the point of topic here is Hank, and Hank maybe not being Henry, or maybe he is going to be Henry, but I know that I mentioned the point of Hank being Henry, I think later on in this video. I'm not 100% sure, but I know that I mentioned that. I don't know now. I don't know. It might be a possibility that he's still Henry, and the way that they're displaying him is just in this different format, but it looks like he's about to get murked by Bonnie. But again, it's just a trailer. You don't know what the fuck's gonna happen. Maybe he survives, maybe he doesn't, we'll see. Now, the real point of discussion, Vanessa. Now, if you've been hearing me for the past few minutes, I've been talking about how I think Vanessa's going to be revealed as the undercover villain. And well, this trailer helped back up my case so fucking much. And I can't thank this trailer more than ever. Now, throughout the trailer, I noticed a lot of subtle clues showcasing how Vanessa could possibly be this undercover villain that's eventually going to kill Abby by the end of the movie and be set up as the main antagonist for the second movie. For starters, the first subtle clue that I noticed is her introduction in the trailer. Now, when she's introduced in the trailer, the music dead stops. And not only does the music dead stop and showcases her on the camera being all creepy with the, "Hi, how you doing?" but the creepy music begins to play. Now, I've seen enough trailers to know that if you're going to have a character that's going to display the exposition in your trailer, that creepy music of the storytelling doesn't come until the actual storytelling begins. Which makes it all the more weird how they did it as soon as Vanessa showed up. Especially given the fact that usually in trailers, if you have a villain or an antagonistic character, that dark music usually plays when the character shows up in the trailer. So that was very interesting to me. The second subtle clue, which this is probably the weakest of the bunch, is this line right here.
It's too late.
She says it's too late, but the tone of her voice and how she says it's too late for Abby kind of makes it seem like she's being a lot more malicious. Like, she's not sounding like, "Oh, it's too late, Mike. Abby might not make it out alive." No, it sounds like she's saying, "It's too late, Mike. I already killed that bitch." But that's just an estimation. You know, trailers tend to change the dialogue from the trailer to the actual movie, so it might just be a trailer line and the delivery might be completely different. Or maybe I'm right and I've called it with this line, but I don't know just yet. But that's probably my weakest subtle clue, but this next one is a lot bigger in terms of how subtle it is and how much evidence it provides. And that is this line.
They want to make her like them.
Now, first of all, the first thing I want to point out is that anyone who's played the FNAF games and knows the lore of the FNAF games knows that what Vanessa is saying here is nothing but a lie. Like, we all know that
that the animatronics are not trying to kill the kids. In fact, the animatronics are trying to do the opposite. They're trying to protect the kids from the adults, because the adults remind them of their killer, and they think that any of the adults can be the murderer, and they try to stuff the adults into the suits and make them like them. In fact, it's even like in the first phone call where a phone guy mentions like, oh, they might try to stuff you into a suit because they might see you as an endoskeleton without a costume on. So this line right here just doesn't make complete sense, and it could be possible that Scott changed the lore for this movie, but at the same time, he's being very faithful to his own interpretation of these characters. And this shot right here of Foxy deliberately and obviously turning away to look at someone else in the room and not Abby showcases that he's not trying to harm Abby. He's more pissed off at whoever is in the room. And this is actually a direct reference from the FNAF novel The Silver Eyes, where Foxy actually does the same thing with another kid named Jason. He protects Jason from Afton and from the other teenagers, thinking that they might be malicious. And I find it all too coincidental as well that the room that Abby is in when this shot plays out is the same shot that we see earlier where Abby's looking at this artwork of Spring Bonnie with these 5 kids. And it's almost like Foxy sees this drawing and remembers now that Afton is the bad guy, is the villain, and he's turning to look at Afton. But it may not be Afton, it may be Mike that he's looking at, it may be Vanessa that he's looking at, one of the bunch. And I know that the trailer tries a lot of misdirection. In fact, one of the biggest misdirections of this trailer is Vanessa in the hospital bed. Now, I don't know about you, but for a man like Scott Cawthon, who does not like his shit spoiled or his shit to be known before release, putting a shot like this where Vanessa is hospitalized and is pretty much tells you her entire character arc throughout this whole movie of just being exposition dump and then eventually getting fucked up and hospitalized for the rest of the movie is not a smart move. Which is why I think it's a misdirection, because there's no way Scott would have let them get away with that. That's such a spoil, a big spoil at that for Vanessa's character, that I don't think that's the plan. I think Vanessa being hospitalized, maybe she does get hurt, but her being hospitalized is a distraction to keep her seeming like she is a protagonist in the movie, when in actuality, she's an undercover antagonist, and she's gonna come back later and she's gonna kill Abby, just like I suspect her to. In fact, they actually try another misdirection in the same trailer, where they try to make you think that Mike dies and then possesses Golden Freddy. Hell, they even go as far as to showcase how Golden Freddy is holding hands with Abby, the same way that Mike wanted Abby to hold his hand earlier on in the trailer. But there's 2 things wrong with this. First of all, if you've seen the original leak trailer, which now I have because I've seen the official trailer, this edited shot of Mike getting kidnapped, put into the chair, get the Freddy mask, and then it being the Golden Freddy scene was not how it was edited in the original trailer. In fact, that was specifically edited for this official trailer, which makes me believe that it is a clear as day misdirection for you. Second of all, this is Blumhouse, and if anybody's going to do misdirection in their trailer, it's fucking Blumhouse. They've done it before, mainly the big note of them all being Halloween Ends. Halloween Ends made you think that it was going to be Michael Myers versus Laurie Strode for the whole movie, but then it actually turned out to be Corey as the main character for the entire movie. So for Blumhouse to misdirect you into thinking that Mike's the one who dies, when in actuality it's going to be Abby the one that dies, is a great misdirection, because it makes you think, okay, Mike's gonna die and now he's gonna be Golden Freddy and protect his little sister. But in actuality, his little sister is gonna die later on in the movie, and Mike's still gonna be alive and he's gonna grieve. And there is one shot that I made a community post about, and this is the biggest subtle clue of them all, that people, when they first watched the trailer, it actually went past them. They didn't actually notice what this actually was until you actually pause and look at it. And that is this notice on Mike's door. If you look closely, that's not an eviction notice. That's a police form, and it labels Mike as a delinquent. Now, the reason I think Mike has a delinquent notice is because of the opening scene, which is supposedly supposed to be Mike working at this mall as a security guard that we actually see in the trailer here, and then he beats somebody up in the fountain, which is actually something that was earlier on leaked. It was a quick little scene of Mike beating the shit out of somebody that was leaked, which I believe to be the opening scene, which then leads to this delinquent notice. And this notice explains Mike's character arc in its entirety. Because if you heard what I said earlier, I think Mike's story arc revolves around the bite victim. and that he was traumatized from accidentally getting this kid's face chopped off by the Bite 87 or the Bite 83, because maybe Scott decided to change it to the Bite 83, who knows. And this traumatic event eventually leads Mike into becoming angry and having anger problems and wanting to harm people and wanting to let out that frustration. And this will play into Mike's story arc, because he will try everything to protect Abby but then fail at the end and then get arrested, because I think Vanessa is setting him up. She's telling him the story about the animatronics being possessed, which they actually are, but she's telling him about the story to make him believe. Because if Mike believes in the paranormal and he starts believing all these spirits are haunting, then she could utilize Abby's death as a perfect frame for Mike. And that she can say, oh, he just believes in these spirits. He believes that there's ghosts haunting this place. He's insane. And then they throw him into jail and they blame Mike for Abby's death. And that will sideline Mike up until the third movie. It's honestly, it would be such a smart move to do that. And it would make so much sense for Mike's character arc to try so hard to rectify and redeem himself from the bite victim, but failing in terms of letting Abby die. And it would make for a tragic, sad end to the movie that would lead to the next sequels. And it would also, like I said, allow for Vanessa to become the new antagonist for the sequel and become this great villain. But that's everything that I got from the trailer. I don't know about y'all. But now I'm gonna go back to the past and explain to you how I had booked the trilogy as a whole. So I'll let myself do that. See you.
Now back to our weekly scheduled program.
So what will the sequel be? Or is it gonna be a sequel? Will it be a prequel? Who knows? That's going to be the best question. But here's what I think that they're going to do with the sequel. So obviously they mentioned the fact that Hank is going to be in the first film, which obviously I think that's just going to be referring to the fact that Hank, he created Fazbear with Afton, and you're going to have some scenes with that.
Are you sure about that?
And you might have some scenes with the drama at Fazbear Entertainment. And I think that in some correlation, Hank is probably going to kill himself in the first movie. Just like he does in FNAF World and just like he does in the novel trilogy. I don't think they're gonna bring Hank in. What the fuck was that? And I think, personally, that whoever the bite victim is in the first FNAF movie would be a perfect candidate to replace Charlotte as the marionette in this movie, or in the first movie too. Because if you think about it, it being the marionette, it would not only allow for Charlotte to be a character and perhaps be the same character she was in the Silver Eyes novel, but it also allows for the marionette to not be a vengeful soul, which is something that the marionette has always been. The marionette has always been a soul that has tried to help others. And when you have the bite victim, who is not somebody who was killed intentionally, but rather accidentally, it allows for that character to be more sympathetic and to be more understanding than just another spirit. And it also explains why that character would be wanting to help rather than to harm, because when you think about it, every kid was murdered, so why would this one animatronic want to help rather than want to harm, just like all the other animatronics? So I think in that regards, it would make a lot more sense for the bite victim to possess the marionette in this movie trilogy. And also, like I said, it would allow for Charlotte to be a character. And on a story spectrum, let's say that the bite victim was related to Afton as well. If this kid that Mike was probably maybe either friends with or was bullying, if this kid was related to William Afton, now you have your killer's motive, and it perfectly lines up and it perfectly makes sense with the story of the first FNAF movie. Because now you have a reason to why Vanessa would want to kill Abby and want to get Mike back. And you also have a reason why William Afton would want to blame Hank, because it was Hank's animatronic, but it was also Mike's doing. And so you have a 2-for-1 right there, and explains why William Afton may hate Mike and may try to fuck Mike over, and also became a killer. You know, it fits perfectly. It just works like everything. The puzzles get put together and it's just smooth as hell. Now, personally, I think it would be a very smart decision to make Five Nights at Freddy's 2 the movie like a hybrid between FNAF 2 the game and the Silver Eyes novel, because Charlotte's character in the Silver Eyes novel was such a good character. And essentially, the Silver Eyes novel could be utilized as FNAF 1 or 2. It could be interchangeable. All you have to do is just switch out the animatronics from regular to toy, and it still works just as fine. And it also can still work as a sequel or a prequel because of the whole withered animatronic. Like I said, in FNAF 1, Mike and Afton had to team up to destroy the animatronics one by one, and now they come back withered. Were they withered before FNAF 1, like they are in the games, or is it a sequel? Because you also have Vanessa as the villain. So is Vanessa a villain prior to FNAF 1, and that's why she had all those dark secrets? Or are you seeing her in her true colors now following the first movie? You know, so many things that can make FNAF 2 even better. And to have Charlotte as the main protagonist and finally get that daughter rivalry that obviously Scott was trying to build. The rivalry between Charlotte and Elizabeth in the games. The Marionette and Circus Baby in the games that we never truly got to get. Now we get to get that with Five Nights at Freddy's 2, the movie. If Vanessa is an antagonist and Charlotte is not dead, now you have Charlotte versus Vanessa, and you finally have that rivalry, and it could culminate in the third movie, or it could go head to head in this movie and clash like crazy. I mean, think about it. We have all these animatronics in this movie. You have the toy animatronics, you have the wither animatronics, and you have Vanessa roaming around pulling strings. Like, there's so much to think about with this sequel that it just works. It's just so perfect. It would fit so perfectly if this is how the story went. And it would make so much sense too, because it would not only be a great reinterpretation by being able to develop Charlotte as a character the way Scott wanted to develop Charlotte as a character, but it would also fit in line with Five Nights at Freddy's 2 story without it being a carbon copy of the first game, which is something that Five Nights at Freddy's 2 may have had a problem with if it was just Jeremy as the main protagonist. And I do think that they are going to have Jeremy in here. I think Jeremy is going to be essentially either John from the novels, or he's going to be like Carlton from the novels, or maybe he's like both of them and he has traits of both John and Carlton from the novels, and that's what Jeremy Fitzgerald as a character is going to be like in this movie. But what I do know, most likely Jeremy Fitzgerald is not making out of Five Nights at Freddy's 2 alive, unfortunately, but it works on a story spectrum for his ass to die and for Charlotte to live and to be able to finish the story in Five Nights at Freddy's 3. Now, let's say we got all this. They defeat the withered animatronics. They defeat the toy animatronics. Jeremy dies in some way, whether it be Vanessa killed him or the toy animatronics ripped him apart or something. Now you have Charlotte defeats Vanessa. And Charlotte could kill Vanessa, and Vanessa can now possess an animatronic too. Or Vanessa can get away and you don't know what the hell is going on with her, but you know that Charlotte is going to continue and finish the story. Now you have Five Nights at Freddy's 3. And to perfectly close off the franchise, it would be perfect to have a hybrid between FNAF 3 the game and Pizzeria Simulator the game. Think about that. You combine those two together in one to make the finale. And then you throw in some elements here and there from the Twisted Ones novel in regards to like the relationship between Mike and Charlotte throughout this movie. And I think you have a perfect finale right there. Mike comes back. Charlotte comes back. Mike is kind of like, he doesn't want to come back, but Charlotte is like convincing him to volunteer. Charlotte goes and approaches him to be the volunteer for this. Mike and Charlotte slowly build a relation. Again, what the fuck? And you can also slowly build a relationship between Mike and Charlotte there. That's similar to the relationship that John and Charlotte had in the Twisted Ones novel, to where they were slowly building that chemistry, but obviously there was some kind of introverted complications in terms of communication. And it would make for a perfect relationship to have Charlotte and Mike. You know, Mike, this broken down, fucked up guy who's lost everyone in his life, and then to have Charlotte, who's also lost everyone in her life, also wants to finish the story that her father created. It'd just be perfect.
I guess you can say that she put the pieces of his life back together again.
And then think about this. Think about this for a second. Think about if it actually is Pizzeria Simulator. So where you have the Fazbear fights, and it's a horror attraction. And in this horror attraction, Charlotte wants Mike to salvage all these animatronics. And you have all the animatronics right there. You have Freddy and the gang from the first movie, and they could be melted together into one hybrid animatronic. Maybe it's Molten Freddy. You have the toy animatronics that could be melted together to be like maybe this movie's interpretation of Ennard. Who knows? It's a possibility. You have Springtrap, who's coming in here as the main bad guy, as the main villain. You have the Marionette coming back, and maybe you could do something in regards to Lefty, or maybe it could just be the Marionette. Who knows? Then you also can have a fifth animatronic, and that fifth animatronic, think about it, it could either be one of two options. It could be either Abby, and Abby is now possessing an animatronic, and it so happens that the animatronic that Abby possesses is Circus Baby. Like, could you imagine that? Obviously, it's not sci-fi Circus Baby. It's not the one with the claw and the scooper. But it could be like Circus Baby, like one of the toy animatronics. But it's Circus Baby. Like, think about that. Abby possessing Circus Baby, and then you have that whole manipulation with Mike's guilt. Like, just imagine that. That would be so fucking good. That'd be so good, and it would be like a perfect finale. It'd be this grand finale where you face all the animatronics that you saw in the previous two movies, and Mike has to deal with them all. And then Vanessa maybe comes back, and Vanessa probably dons her bunny suit, the classic Vanessa bunny suit in the third film, because she's a police officer. So maybe she finally dons the killer's mask, and she tries to fuck over Charlotte. And now you finally have that classic fight with Charlotte and Vanessa, and oh my god, just think about that, and all the implications that would be. And then it's revealed that Charlotte lured all the animatronics back to burn them all, and she wanted to burn with it, and then Mike burns with it, and everybody goes down in flames, and all the spirits are saved. Yeah, that would be so good. That would be it. Listen, if that is how this trilogy is booked and written, I'm not gonna lie to you, I would flat out say right now that would probably be the greatest horror movie trilogy I've ever seen. Guaranteed. I mean, just how epic would that be? Each night, Mike would have to salvage each of these animatronics. He had to face each of these animatronics from the past movies and defeat them, and then set all their souls free, and he has to fight Springtrap, and you have Charlotte versus Springtrap 2, which is something that we never truly got in the novel trilogy, was Charlotte versus Springtrap, and now we can get that. Oh my... Look, even my computer know what's up, bro. That would be so fucking awesome. That'd be so awesome. I'm getting hyped just thinking about it, and I better calm my ass down because it's not even guaranteed that this is gonna be the case. But if this was the case, perfect movie trilogy right there. Every single thing from the games and from the novels perfectly reinterpreted and recreated in this to make it the best version of Five Nights at Freddy's. The real version of Five Nights at Freddy. This would be the real version for me. Like, I don't even have to play the games no more, bro. This is it for me. The movie trilogy, that's it for me. I don't know, what do y'all guys think? For me, I think this would be a perfect way to book this movie trilogy, and it'd be a perfect way to just tell this story and how it should have been told, for me personally. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. I'll add anything in post if I need to that I forgot, and that's about it. Arrivederci, bitches, motherfuckers. Have a good one. It's nice to know you have the face of a psychopath.